Hi, everybody. Welcome to Play to Find Out Longfall, episode 20. Uh, we have reached the 20s, and that's super cool. And yeah, we're back for some more Longfall action. You may notice that Pian is not with us today. They had some stuff come up. Basically, they're not going to be showing up for for the remainder of the show. Some stuff came up for them, unfortunately. So yeah, this time was not working out, and we don't have too much longer, but so yeah, that's a thing that we will have to deal with. But the four of us are all here, so we're ready to do this thing. So let's talk to our friends and see how they've been. German boy, let's start with you. How are you?
Good, cold mostly. 'Cause Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I woke up November 1st and it's November, so it's like starting to be winter. I woke up to 5 inches of snow and it hasn't gone away. And it
Yeah.
snowed for about 7 days. So like we've got snow.
Mm-hmm.
For real, for real.
Oh.
Sometimes I feel like the Canadian tagline should be, "We've got snow."
Mine is more like it's very Canada outside.
It's very, it's very Canada. It's very Canada outside.
Yeah. But other than that, just music and more music and Destiny. Little less Destiny now, just because I hit like the wall where you need to like do raids and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You
But
need
I
that
can-
light.
Well, you need a lot of people, and like my schedule doesn't line up with a bunch of people, so
Mhm.
it's just been interesting. And watching a whole bunch of Netflix. I finished season 2 of Mr. Robot, and I'm going through Stranger Things. I finished the first season of that, and I'm about halfway through the second.
Nice. Yeah, I still need to start the second one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've heard good things, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
I
That's-
won't say anything about that.
Okay. I've already gone to like the Ego Extreme Deluxe or whatever. I'm past that. So yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Michael, how about you? How are things?
I'm good. I've been playing a lot of Warhammer Total War. So two things about that game. One, the ritual. There are two campaigns built into the game. There's the base campaign, which is called the Eye of the Vortex, which is all built around controlling the vortex at the center of the map. Not overly complicated. Like it has its hard moments. And then there's the second one, which is called the Mortal Empires campaign, which is all the currently available Warhammer armies, all on the same map, all fighting each other. And where with Eye of the Vortex, you like had to like expand a little bit before you ran into major factions.
Mm-hmm.
In the campaign I started, I start, and from my spawn, I have vision on 3 major factions. Technically 4, if you count the Skaven Blight settlement, which is just a monster in its own right. It's not technically a playable faction, but it's insane. And so,
Wait, are they different from the regular Skaven?
so there's the playable Skaven armies in Warhammer, which are Clan Wars, which is much more about fighting shit and just hitting things. Clan Wars are the like storm vermin with halberds and like weird, like kind of Reichsguard-esque like helmets. And then Clan Pestilence, which is like crazy naked mole rats that worship filth itself.
Sounds like a pretty
Kind
good
of
life.
awesome. It's pretty metal. It's pretty good. And then there's the other Skaven clans, and Praise Slanesh. Praise her. One thing I do appreciate about Slanesh is Slanesh is gender fluid.
Yeah, Slash just makes whatever they want. Just like, oh yeah, I need 20 dicks, sure.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
we go. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Slanesh is like super gender fluid, which is kind of cool for a chaos god. Yes. So basically there are a couple of like major, like well-known Skaven settlements in Warhammer lore, and Mortal Empires puts them all on the map. And they are monsters to fight against. They're just insane. Like Skaven Blight, which is the city that I think used technically to be Mordheim. I don't know. Anyway, Skaven Blight is like the capital of Skavendom. And then there's the Hell Pit, which is where all the horrifying monsters that the Skavens use in their army roster get made.
Sure.
And so they both have serious problems.
So it's like the
One is just full of Skaven, and the other, if you go anywhere near it, your army suffers attrition because of all the Skaven monsters that are just attacking you. That are just like failed experiments that were just kind of like thrown out into the wilds.
So it's like that. It's like in Lord of the Rings, that like giant orc pit at Isengard where they're just like making orcs out of mud.
Yeah, yeah. Except 30% of the orcs are busted and either get. Actually, no. Like 10% of the orcs work. The other 90% either get fed to the orcs that work, or just get thrown out into the world to wreak havoc.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Skaven are like, everybody's like, oh, Skaven are so cute. I'm like, they're horrific monsters. What are you talking about?
Well, usually you just see like a picture and it's like, oh, look, they're rat people. That's so cute. And then it's like, oh no, they're actually horrifying. Oh, jeez.
They are. I think the best way I've ever heard the Skaven described is, take cocaine addicts, give them magic, make them immune to disease, make them all toxically masculine, make them all furries, and then give them tons of just time and effort to make crazy shit.
Great.
And that's the Skaven in a nutshell. And they're terrifying.
Someone just replace their cocaine with pot. They'll be so docile.
Hey, there you go.
Though that would be the Night Goblins. Well, the Night Goblins are basically on PCP all the time. They're insane. And like unit card is great because it's like a goblin hopped up on mushrooms that can't go into sunlight, and you're like, oh my god, that's amazing. And so those guys are Warhammers. Can we just talk about how ridiculous Warhammer is in general?
It's
like to that, like they're like, this is honestly why I want to run a Warhammer fantasy game at some point, because Warhammer is ridiculous. There's like a shirtless dwarf with 2 axes and a mohawk wrestling an orc who just shot his goblin boyfriend, maybe? It's hard to tell. Out of a catapult with wings strapped to his back and a spike on his head to go kill your friends on the other side of the canyon. Like, that is a thing that regularly happens in Warhammer. It's amazing.
It's like, it sounds a lot like if D&D had a Jackass movie franchise.
If I would say that is reasonable. I feel like it's more like if who was the guy that directed the Mario movie? Because he was like a good director, but he like got a hold of something that wasn't meant to be what it was and made a thing. It's like if that guy directed a D&D movie.
I don't know.
It's like taking the things that were great about D&D and just ridiculousness.
Awesome. Well, I'm
And
glad.
that's the end of Michael's introduction.
That's the end of my introduction.
I'm glad Warhammer's doing your thing. Kelsa.
Warhammer is great.
Hello. I'm excited to be here. I love Longfall. It's my favorite show. I was muted because I was spending all of my time making sure that I was announcing it all over the places. Very excited because I'm going to be going to PAX Unplugged, not next weekend, but right after that. Super duper excited about that.
Yeah.
For a minute, I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to go, and I am going to be able to go. And so, yep. Okay, that's it. I mean, that's really the only exciting thing. Actually, it's not the only exciting thing that's happened. But the other thing, I'll wait till next week to officially announce because it's not actually happening. It's almost happening. Anyway, the point is the most exciting thing going on for me is the fact that I'm going to go to PAX Unplugged and maybe in Philadelphia for like 4 days, and that's going to be super awesome. So
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah.
So Kelsa, did one show end and you were immediately like, I cannot be under 4 shows for my brand, and then you immediately started trying to find another show?
No. I was trying to find another show.
Don't lie to me.
No, before that show ended, I'd been trying to find another show. It's that is in production, but has not. It's down the pipe a ways. So, I'm currently down to only 3 shows a week right now.
And it feels so weird, doesn't it?
It does actually. It does.
Does it also kind of feel great because you're like,
kinda, but kind of not. I don't know. It feels like I'm not being productive enough. So
I'm not being
trying to-
productive by dicking around with my friends on the internet.
yes, that
it
is correct.
kind of
That's
that
exactly
feeling like-
correct.
Kind of like that school's out for summer feeling. You're like, this is gonna be awesome, and then like a week later, like I'm bored.
Kinda like
Lord.
it's like I feel like I can finally like play the games that I haven't had a chance to play because I haven't like video games and stuff. And then I go to sit down and play them, and I'm like, man, why aren't I playing Blades in the Dark right now? It's possible that I have a huge hard on for Blades in the Dark, and it may be possible that Blades in the Dark is, or one of its variants is what I'm working towards. But yeah, more later.
Excellent. Cool. So, let's see. I don't think anything too big's happened for my stuff. Yeah, if you're not aware, Magic Dance had its last episode on Saturday. So there's that. Getting some other stuff around. One's pretty much good. But it's one for after this, so that'll be a while. And then Magic Dance ending was kind of a surprise, so
It was a surprise for all of us.
yeah.
And yet
Sorry.
it had a fantastic ending, so
It was a pretty good ending.
I got married. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
I got married to my robot girlfriend who
Spoilers.
just got her body.
It was pretty good. But yeah, that's about it.
Elsa officiated and was an asshole about it.
Of course I was. That
Like
was
your
the
char-
dynamic between our characters. You're an asshole to me, I'm an asshole to you. That's just how it goes.
You
Oh,
know.
you get away with shit, and I call you on it.
I mean, that sounds like being an asshole to my character.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. I haven't.
Awesome.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Android is probably closer to what it actually was, but yes.
Maybe. Awesome.
Oh, and then my mom called.
Yep.
For the first time ever, which was a thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. So, what happened last time in Longfalls?
Relatively well. There was Corvus and Steven being badasses. Izelka not being the sharpest tool in the shed. and
What
Zaje
you
being
mean-
super innocent and finally kissing the girl of his dreams.
Yeah.
Kelsey's like,
I was gonna butt in about Azilka, but I mean, you made a very good point about Zaje, so.
So, also, Izelka is hanging on for dear life to a door that's locked underneath the city with nothing but open sky beneath her.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Because a death construct that looked suspiciously like Lyle exploded when she shut down its like internal control system. It like self-destructed and blew up the catwalk she was on.
It's possible she wasn't thinking straight. Possibly because
Here,
she's
I'm gonna throw
absolutely
some
terrible-
emotes in
terrified of
chat because I
heights.
can't have that quote be the only thing I see in chat at the very bottom.
Great. So I think we get that cut of Azilka just like hanging
Oh,
there,
no,
like
no,
for
no,
dear
we're gonna
life.
let this
No. That's what I'm saying is we just cut to that and we see like remember previously on and like you see her hanging there and then we go over to like see Zaje or Corvus.
Yeah, and then it's like we just like see your feet hanging off the ledge, looking down at nothing but sky, and you're just looking terrified. And then it goes to
her giant owl eyes are even gianter.
and then it goes to the Aether font, and it's Longfall. It's like it looks like a dictionary definition. It's Longfall, slang. Definition 3. Falling off the city. And then like it just fades, and that's like the quote for this episode. And then the like awesome anime intro sequence happens. There's like I don't know. We're probably recognizing more and more stuff, and we're also getting hints at what's to come, but I can't tell you that because I don't want to spoil it for the players, and this is an emergent narrative, so it doesn't really exist.
Right.
So
Right. Were this a show, we would have things.
Were this a show, we would have been foreshadowing this
Yeah.
for like a month,
Right.
Exactly.
right?
Right. But it's not. So we just basically we describe that we're foreshadowing things, but we're not
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
foreshadowing things.
I've been foreshadowing that at some point I'm going to push Zelka off the city for a long time. It just hasn't happened. So, we smash cut over to Corvus and Steven in a bar. Steven is very, very drunk and playing darts. And by playing darts, I mean sending darts through the wall because he's that strong.
Just says Steven.
Corvus, what are you doing when this thing is about to happen?
I really like it's like my view of the dartboard, and then all of a sudden like a thunk, and you just see like the little plastic or whatever they are,
like little flechettes like at
Yeah.
the back.
like 4 inches over from the board, anywhere near it, just like
Uh-huh.
through the wall.
Tonk.
Yeah. You see little
Shit.
Steven go like,
And then like a couple seconds later, tonk. And it's like the same distance away but above this time.
shit.
Shit.
Yeah.
Punk. Shit. And it's like that audio sequence is just on loop in the background. And it's probably shot where we're like up close with Steven, but in the frame within a frame, Corvus is in the background just watching, and his like head's moving slightly as every time Steven throws.
Yeah.
And then in the frame within the frame that is the window behind Corvus, we see like the city skyline, and we see like a large like puff of like bluish fire off in the distance, and then like everything like rumbles for a second and like all the lights shake. This has never happened before. And everybody in the city feels this. Everybody is like Zajay is probably walking home with his mother, who is like apologizing profusely for assuming that he was hooking. And then there's like the like street lights shudder a little bit, but like more extremely, and you don't see the like big gout of fire because you're like underneath it, because you're in the tail. And is that we cut back to Izelka on the bridge, and suddenly like the thing just starts swaying.
Like the creak of metal.
Yeah.
We made some mistakes. And she like tries really hard not to look down.
Mm-hmm. So you cut back. So we cut back to the bar, and there's this like Steven is looking around and is like getting ready to throw, and he's not like, he's just like looking out the window at like the street lights sway, and he just throws it. And as it throws, the building rocks again, and the dartboard falls off the window, and he gets a perfect bullseye, pinning it to the wall as it's like falling because he threw low.
Because like halfway down the wall. Yeah.
And then he turns back around. Fuck yeah! Whoa!
And it's like, nice.
And it's like you look down in your drink and it's just like vibrating. He's like,
So at that point, I'm like, they're probably both pretty drunk because like,
and you guys are just like, wow, I'm really drunk. The whole room is shaking.
it's like it goes around. Everyone else is kind of doing the same thing, and you see like people across the street coming out of buildings and like looking, what the hell's going on? And then we'll look back and get like the plume of whatever smoke is coming.
Yeah, the like bluish. It's like a. I would maybe describe it a bit like a Have you seen like a truck backfiring, but like in really slow motion? That's what it looks like.
Kind of like the if you do like the slow motion videos of those ink drops in water.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, that's probably actually how the special effects team did this shot, but it's like in reverse, like on the air.
But I don't think we knew where Izelka was going. We kind of all split up after.
Oh, this is out of character. This is separate to what happened to Izelka.
Oh, okay. This
is another problem. And you look over, and the blue like puff is coming from the direction of the tail.
Okay. I guess we're cops, so should probably be on duty and go look.
Corvus, I don't know about you, but I am really drunk right now.
That's a good thing you're not driving. You just stay here, buddy. I'll scout it out.
Nope. He just like pulls out like two like little submachine guns and just like drunkenly stumbles outside brandishing weapons. And then we cut as we hear him yelling "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers" at the top of his lungs as he runs off in the direction of the tail.
Yup.
I'm just gonna like walk outside, kind of like try to shake off a little bit of the double vision and take off flying.
I'm gonna cut over to Zajay and see what Zajay's doing.
Yeah, so I'm walking with my mom, and then we hear a big boom. Or like, what happens? What happens?
It's probably more like a. it's not like a boom. In the like something exploded. It's a bit more like a really bassy rumble. Like have you ever been inside of a car that someone took the muffler off of?
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like that. It's this very like very obviously like mechanical sound. And the tail has the tail burner is massive. Like there's always that persistent hum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's a thing, but it's never been like this loud. And right as that happens, you are just hit by like a wall of wind. And I think we cut back to good old Corvus, who is also hit by said wall of wind, but in the air, and you have to like fly, like fight to stay on course.
It's like one of those eagle, like the eagle like going.
Yeah, the
against
eagle
current.
goes over the
just
updraft.
basically staying still. I was going like Mach 3, and then all of a sudden just like, poof. I'm just like,
Wait a minute.
And like a split second later, Azelka feels the same blast of wind as she hangs on for dear life. You're muted.
I'm drawing her.
Aww. Poor Azelka. So you get hit with a burst of wind.
And her giant eyes.
Giant eyes. And you get hit with a burst of wind, and you're wearing a dress right now, right?
Yeah. She
Yeah,
always
your
wears
dress
it's
flies
more like
all over the place, and your
also
coats.
like immediately like cattail like bottle brush,
Yeah, you're just and do we get the like goes up her spine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that like animation. Yeah, so that happens. I'm gonna need you to roll your agility to not fall.
Okie-dokie.
She's not gonna die, guys.
I mean, maybe.
The worst case scenario, she falls and gets eaten by a whale.
Got
Right.
17. That's like dead though, right? I mean,
I don't know. Is there a Bible story about some guy living in a whale for a long time?
I
Yeah.
mean, sure, but
Yeah, and then he turned into a real boy.
sky whale.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sky whale, so it's magic, so it's fine.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's a magical sky whale. .com. So
No.
I'm sorry, drummer boy, I'm tone deaf. And not musically talented at all. But if you need a bad band name for your synth, aquatic synthwave band, magicalskywhale.com.
I got so many already.
Aw.
The one that I'm super excited about that I got from the show was Freshwater Merfolk. That's gonna
Freshwater
Oh, yeah.
Merfolk is a
Yeah.
great one. That is a great one.
The bluegrass was just like the.
Yeah, you like hold on, and I think what's like a piece of clothing that could reasonably be blown off of you right now. Are you wearing like a little cap? Do you have like a little beret or something?
I mean,
Do you like drop your purse?
she brought her purse.
I don't think she dropped her purse.
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's her actual paper notebook.
Oh, the like.
Yeah,
The,
it as she's like holding on to herself, it like jostles itself out of her pocket and then just goes fluttering down
Yeah,
and down,
and we
down.
like see
for
we like
nowhere.
see and we like follow the shot of the notebook, right?
Yeah.
For it like seems like about like 10 seconds of it just falling and tumbling through the night sky.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just see it like splash, like thunk, sort of into the aether sphere and just like burn up.
Yeah.
And then we like hard zoom back to Izelka's face. And cut back to.
Yeah, and I think she finally accidentally looked down. And so she's just staring at that, and like her eyes are just so wide and her tail is just poofed out, and she's just like white knuckled holding onto this door that's just barely keeping her up.
Yeah, and, we cut back to the overhead shot, and we see just like against the field of blue below, you just see the like tiny orange flash of paper burning. Cut back to Zajay. I'm doing like hard jump cuts right now because crazy things are happening everywhere.
Yep. So is the tail like okay? As in structurally, or is it like, do we see like cracks forming and stuff, or is it like
make a perception check. Like, I don't think it's anything as overt as the ground is opening up. Like, it's not like the 1905
15
earthquake. There's some structural damage to some of the weaker houses. Like you can see like some windows have been broken by the vibrations, or like
okay,
stuff like that. Like nothing as overt as it's not switching to Apocalypse World just yet. I promise. I will
oh my
let them know when it's
gosh!
switching to Apocalypse
Oh
World.
my gosh, that'd be cool.
I've talked to you about how I have like multiple campaigns for this setting prepared, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely Longfall, the Left Behinds, which is like the people that were stuck on the ground when the city rose, and that's the Apocalypse World story. Anyway, no, nothing so overt as like the ground is splitting or anything like that. It can you make like a logic roll for me just to like see if you can kind of like process through what's happening?
15.
Yeah, that's reasonable. So you don't think the gust of wind was caused by whatever that sound was, which has since stopped, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
It may and you all have lived on the city your entire lives, so you've been here when the summer storms have hit. And here, because of the way the Aether Sphere works, summer storms aren't like, oh, it's going to start raining and then it won't stop. It's like, bam, and we're storms. It's a hard, fast transition. But it's fairly predictable because of, by necessity of being a flying city for 1,000 years, the city has had to learn how to figure out how to do that and predict it with some degree of accuracy. So it makes sense to you that like they anticipated this wind gust, this like sudden like change in like air currents, and we're trying to compensate for it. But even still, that sound should not have happened, right?
Yeah. So, but
like
but
that
it,
was.
But it definitely came from the
sound definitely came from
here.
the tail. Yeah, the sound definitely came from the burner.
Okay.
And like the tail, if you look at the map, the tail is kind of like, if you think of the way the city floats, the tail leads, right? The tail faces into the wind because it's kind of like a big, like it's shaped like a wedge for a reason. To like cut down on wind resistance on the front edge of the city. But this, like there were, like something went wrong here and you're not exactly sure what, if that makes any sense. If you think that sounds exciting, wait until you hear about the pirate campaign I have for this city. Like I've got a lot of ideas.
Well,
lots of ideas.
I think I look at my mom. I make sure my mom's okay. Like the wind didn't like knock
Your
her into
mom
something.
looks suddenly worried because that was scary, but your mom is fine.
I look at her and then like that was the burner. I need to go make sure things are okay there.
She's like, have you ever been around someone who like it suddenly just clicked that something really bad could have happened to someone that they care about? That's the look your mother has, right? It's the look of someone who like realizes, oh, I haven't gotten a phone call from my husband in Afghanistan and he was supposed to call today. That's not good. It's like that look. And she's like, he's not home. Like a lot of things are going through her mind right now.
Yeah, I think I realize what's happening. Like Zada's eyes probably get bigger, and then I think he just takes off and heads for the burner.
With your super speed?
Yeah, actually, I can do haste. Or is it called haste?
I believe so.
Technically, I have to cast it because I don't have the boon thing. So one second, let me find it. Boons. Haste. Oh,
This is really good, by the way.
What is it?
Hard cherry.
Nice.
I found that to be a little too sweet for my taste, personally.
It's a little sweet. It's a little sweet, but I think like normal Mike's is a little bit sweet for me, but I think the cherry undercuts it a little bit.
That's reasonable.
2d10. Okay, I'm gonna try to cast haste at.
See, mate, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm gonna try to cast haste at power level 6. So I have to get a 22.
What does that increase your movement speed by?
By 20 feet, and I gain a +2 to guard.
Sweet.
Let's see. Do I have? I'll put a legend point into it because I have 8. 26.
You're good.
Cool. Yeah.
So
yeah, I just start just going extremely like somehow I'm slithering just super fast now, and I'm probably I probably even like start like I get my magic makes me faster, but I probably also like get down to the ground and start using my hands and just my whole like I'm using the whole snake muscle body to just like go super fast.
That would look terrifying to see like a 4-armed snake like death crawling.
Yes.
It's like something out of Resident Evil.
Yes, it would be horrifying.
So Sajay weren't so damn cute.
There is a dark alternate reality where Sajay is a terrifying monster.
Oh yeah.
So I think we cut. Corvus, where are you headed? Are you just following with Steven?
I'm going to the boom. I'm flying.
All right. So we'll say you're on the way there.
I don't have this insight that Sajay does, though. So we're just like, we're cops. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah. And if you were to try and figure that, the darkest timeline for Longfall would be amazing. It's like Longfall version 2 from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where everyone's villains or whatever. So Izelka.
Yeah.
The wind has not let up. And I think you're like holding onto the doorknob and like out of fear, you're like yanking on it. And then it just comes off in your hand and you start to fall backwards.
No.
No?
All right, I got a thing that I can do now.
Wait. Do you want to? Are you as a player? Obviously you can just be like, this thing happens and my safety net kicks in and that's fine. Or you can try one last time to hold on.
Yeah, let's keep trying to hold on. I need to hold on.
Are you just building narrative suspense?
Kind of. But
It's fine.
also, I know that her thing doesn't necessarily work all the time.
It's true because I
You have to roll for
it's
it.
true. I do have to roll for it. So, yeah, like the
Oh,
doorknob.
is it a boon?
It's a
Maybe.
boon.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, she fumbles and the doorknob is gonna follow the it's gonna
Notebook.
follow after the book. And on 17, she manages to clutch onto the hole where the doorknob used to be.
I don't even think it's clutching onto the hole. I think you're like hanging onto the steps at
Sure.
this point, right? You're like
Yeah.
you like grabbed onto what's left of the railing and you're like barely holding on to that.
Yeah.
It's like super intense music, but just like the boop, 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 of her feet swinging.
So you have your sword on you, right? Probably.
I don't know. Like, honestly,
It makes sense that you would. Like, for some reason, I don't imagine her taking that off very often.
I mean, she
Let's-
was at home with like her family. Like,
You also got invited out by a masked man with the symbol of the people that tried to kill you on multiple occasions.
Sure.
true.
Sure.
It's true. But, you know, yeah, all right. She probably did.
So you're like, it's not necessarily that your sword is heavy because your sword is well made, but it's awkward and like catching the wind and it's like twisting your body.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hold on to it. You can hold on to your father's sword. Or you can drop it and you'll have advantage on your next roll to try and stay on.
She's gonna hold on to it.
She's going to hold on to it? Okay.
I mean, she knows that she could like we get the cut where she's like thinking about it, and like you can see like the sword is like all tied up in her dress and everything, and you see her like briefly look down and see her belt buckle. She could just like press a button and the belt
you
would
could just
fall
like
away.
you could just like pull the snap on it and it would let go.
Yeah, and she like, but she's also holding on with both hands, but she knows she could let go just long enough to do that, but she's also not, she doesn't want to let his sword go, but she also doesn't want to let go of her death grip of what little safety she has left with her legs flailing.
I'll call that making a bad decision based on your fear of falling.
Yeah.
I think it's time. Do you want to try and do your thing? And what's the setup to the cliffhanger for that?
I mean, I don't think it's going to happen until she falls.
Do you want me to make her fall? Because I can't. Otherwise, this is just going to be an episode of you nearly falling.
I mean, I guess so, because my I keep rolling fairly well on my agility. So I think maybe what happens then is, you know, like the sword is about to like fall out of its scabbard anyway, and she instinctively like goes for it, and then she realizes that she's lost her grip.
Yeah, you like go for it with one hand, and then another gust of wind happens.
Yeah.
And we get the like really tight zoom of your like fingers giving out, and then we go to commercial.
There you go.
Sorry, I may have just killed Azelka. It's okay.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
FCMA, but we're about to have the dump dump music that you really like to twerk to. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, I promise. All right. Good episode, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, that's it. We're done. Goodbye.
Aw, don't do that.
No.
No, you're like our most loyal viewer. No. You've literally been here since the beginning.
All right, you want to go to break?
Yeah, let's go to break.
Okay, we'll be back in just a few minutes to make sure, see what happens there. And yeah, have fun. And have fun twerking and enjoying the music.
Because we know that's